So I did not hear anything because I tell this story best from here. And what I want to start, you can continue, so we don't keep following. Um, what inspires me the most is when I inspire others. It touches my heart and soul. And a lot of times people always ask me, why are you always happy? Why are you always happy? And I always respond by saying, um, it's what Philippians 1:13, my husband. Philippians 1:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That is the foundation of my life. Okay? So on the roster, you see where it says, Denisha Love, that's my name, and I'm supposed to speak on my profession, environmental health and safety. Safety is a major part of our life. And like just I said earlier, safety is also number one. But I'm going to mix it up a little bit anymore, right? Okay, so I want to share my life journey of freedom because it's touching and it's inspiring. And just give me a brief moment and pray with me. God, speak through me that I might inspire others to just take the extra push in their lives to be better. Amen. All right. So I was born and raised in Athens, New Jersey. Yep. Passaic County. So I live with my mother, single parent, me and my brother. And me and my brother were raised in a home of domestic violence. It was hardcore. We did a lot of running. We did a lot of hiding. It was tough. And it just seemed like it was never ending. Jumping out a window to try to escape. And I know right now there's a lot of people that know me, a lot of my church members in here, they never heard the story. And you're looking at me like, wow. And then you're thinking back to 20 minutes ago when I was up there, I had the biggest smile, right? You never know what the person has went through. You never know the story they have. But I pray that my story will inspire you. So, me and my brother, we were brought up, we were raised in that type of environment. And now that I'm 44 years old, I'm going to jump back and forth because that's how I tell the story. I'm triggered by I will see, and I'm not ashamed to say, counseling, therapy, I go, right? Because I'm triggered by it. So, there are things that trigger me like loud voices or things yelling at women. So when I was 16, I decided that I didn't want to go home because I didn't want to be in that environment. So I ran away to my mother's best friend's house. She just pulled on me. She was like, "Look at your mom, you ran away, but you can stay here. And I'll give you a house, right?" So she let me stay. I went back home. My mom was tempted to continue to beat me, and that was fine because she was trying to be my mother, and she wasn't. So I said, you know what? I want to go to North Carolina with my grandmother. Her name is Emma McGuire. And stopping at, well, I wasn't stopping at. When I was 16, I had already dropped out of high school. And when I came, she said, "You going to school?" And I was like, "Well, I already dropped out. What's for you?" She said, "No, you're going to school." She said, "Either we going to clean this house every day and you're going to wipe it out all your kidnappings." I was like, "I'm going to school." So now we tell us after my graduation. My grandmother, another foundation that was laid on me was the church. My grandmother was like, "You're going to church, the church goes come, you better be ready, get your hair together, get stuff together." Every Sunday we was at church, and what excited me the most about church was the choir. And my Sunday school teacher is here. Just take a look. Is she good? My Sunday school teacher is here. People like that instilled in our journey. They left something with us that we can feed on later on in life. We didn't understand it back then, but we can stick with that. So I was going to church every Sunday. I was sitting in the choir. Oh my God, I was just so excited about church. It was something about the environment. Being a child in church and looking up to the deacon, and there was so much positivity. So then I graduated at 20, by the way. because I was out of school for 2 years. I graduated from Southeast High at 20 years old. I gave a round of applause. I walked across the stage just like everybody else, and there was no shame in my name. Did they pick at me? Yes, they did. But I stood tall because I can do all things through Christ. After graduating from Southeast High, I began to go work at Purdue Homes in my first real job. If anybody ever worked at Purdue, oh my God. Oh my God. You talk about slanging chicken. It broke me down at the age of 21. I was coming home and over, cold, hands cold. It was just, I said, this cannot be right. I did that for 5 years. In the midst of those 5 years, I met the man who did to me what my mama man did to her. I became a victim of domestic violence. A victim. And I kept wondering, Lord, why is this happening to me? What me? What did I do to deserve it? Kids, thump, black eyes, bruises everywhere. A lot. During the pregnancy, after the pregnancy, in between the pregnancy. Yes. And then one night, somebody had called my uncle because they were deacons of the church. And they told me, we heard about it, we just waiting on you to call. Lord, what am I going to do? So the kid's dad came to our house. We lived in Hallgood, North Carolina. He tapped on the window. He said, you call your mama in Jersey, because this is the last time you're going to talk to her. I'll give you a chance to call her. He kept on tapping. I said, you know what? 252-826-3506. Uncle Charles, it's time. Uncle Robert, it's time. Looked out the back window. Uncle Robert ran all the stop signs coming down Hallgood Main Street. He came around that corner. I don't know how much of a deacon he was that day. But he had it set up for us to give him. He said a few short words. The baby dad disappeared. And he looked at me in my face. He said, you move forward. You move forward. Don't look back. And I moved forward. I moved to Tarboro after that act with my sister. And I had 2 babies by myself. I was a single mother. I got fired right across the street at the Honda plant. Everybody know the Honda plant? We used to wear white. This was 20 years ago. Me and my children and my sister. Me and my children shared a room. We were happy. I was being a mother. I had daycare on the side. Government services company. I used it as a stepping stone. I didn't take advantage of it. I know I needed it, and it was just for me. Single mothers. I went to work, kids went to daycare. I was raising and raising. Yeah, a young man walked beside my station at the job. Oh, God. All this hair. And he sounded like a little nerd. What's your name? I started dating him. He never raised a hand. He prayed with me. He welcomed my children for dates. Let me go to church with you on your children. We started dating now. This man is married again. I'm going to be honest. It's 20 years later, we still dating. He is the father of my children. And that matters to me the most. We will get married. That's my business. All right, on with the story. So like I said, I started working at the Honda plant. And when I walked through the door from Purdue, slanging chicken left and right, it was like I had walked in heaven, y'all. Some people had on white uniforms, and I had stood up 5 years at Purdue and bared 2 children. When I got in service, I said, this your job. I said, this chair. I'm going to be sitting in this chair. He said, you ain't going to sit in this chair. You're going to look at our product, and you're going to make sure it's good before you go down the line. I said, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I said, thank you. I said, that's what I do. So I worked on that production line for about 8 months. I was a temporary associate. I was determined because I wanted to move forward because my uncle said you got to move forward, right? So then there was a lady beside me on second shift, and she said, Denise, you're doing a good job. I said, let me ask you something, Wanda. You like working on this line? She said, yes, I do. I said, you want to stay right here? She said, I do. I said, I don't know this one. I don't see some job posters on the board. I think it's time for me to level up. Mind you, I'm the city girl from the project in New Jersey. The Lord had to make the moves. Graduated high school, but didn't want to go to college. Right? So, went to the job. The board, I didn't see no job for nothing else. I saw an engineer, maintenance man. I don't put in for it. I put in about 3 engineer jobs. I still ain't got an interview yet, y'all. I still ain't got an interview. But guess what? They saw my name. They saw my name come across that thing. They never got an interview. So a job came up. It was training team leader. I heard leader. Spark stuff in me. I wanted to be a leader and I wanted to live in this one person. Right? Got the job. And the job connected me with people. They said you gotta learn all the processes in this whole thing. I said, all of them. When do we start? One day I was learning 5. The next day I was learning 2. I learned everything. Then I started teaching the people how to learn. I did that for 5 years and it was the foundation of my life. Again, I keep hearing foundation because of growing. More and more foundations are being installed in my life. And I said, you know what? I'm on second shift. I got these 2 children. They are preteens. I need to be home with my babies. I had to make a sacrifice because the next job position was something I didn't like. But God granted me this privilege. 7 years later, I had became an inventory control specialist where I was counting parts. And that wasn't my thing. But I didn't have it. And I was home with my children in the afternoon. But that gave me grace. Because, you know, God knows for our children, we were going extra miles. Like, all the people hurt children. And they hurt their own children. For me, it's like I felt my children behind me going, go, mommy, go. Go, mommy. They gave me that push because I had to do it for them and myself. I had that job. Another job came up. Environmental health and safety. So the guy that put in his 2-week notice had a 4-year degree in that field. I said, I ain't gonna get this job. I put in for the job, and about an hour later, the manager from that job walks up to me. He said, this is exactly what he said. He said, Denisha, I posted a job, and I want you to put in for it. Did y'all hear what I said all night? I had a job. He said, I posted a job, and I want you to put in for it. I said, sir, done. I said, already done. For a position that the guy had with a 4-year degree. I only had a high school diploma. 4 years later, let's fast forward. I am the environmental health and safety administrator at a civil public education. Here's more inspiration. Let's talk about the kids. Ooh, they were rough. They became teenagers. I became a football mom. I became a cheer mom at Tarboro High School. The Tarboro community embraced me. They embraced my children. I sat at the table with my kids at least once or twice per week, and we talked about what they wanted to do. I didn't say, you are going to college. I said, you're going to do something. You're going to do something positive. You're going to do something. You're going to need a foundation, right? Because that's what my grandmother instilled in me. Both of my children are currently attending HBCUs. Both of my children. My son is attending San State University with a major in communication, kinesiology, like dealing with physical therapy. My daughter, she is just like me, for leadership. She is going to school for agriculture. Her passion is to teach the youth how the world works. She wants to do things like farming. She loves animals. I've had sheep in my backyard. She was in 4-H. I've had chickens in my backyard. The girl put on her Christmas list that she wanted a cow. Mama, I want a cow. And she got involved in shooting sports. Can you buy me an air rifle? I don't even know where to go shop for an air rifle. Where do you go? But those were the things that were on her list. And I said, are you sure you're not sure? Because Mama don't want to play with no chickens. Pig season. Both of my children are in college. So what did I do next? I went to college. I just completed my first year as a student here at the Edgecombe Community College. Majoring in office administration. My kids inspired me. So I wanted to go to a historical black college too. How am I going to complete my bachelor's degree? So I Googled HBCU or Health, Safety, and Environmental. First thing came up, A&T State University. Aggie Prime. So I told my daughter, slide over, girl. Mama coming. It's going to be your line, but we're going to get Aggie. So as soon as I complete this degree, I'm supposed to graduate next year, 2026. I'm going to be on my path for my bachelor's degree.
Motivation.
I chose to tell y'all that story because when we do our safety orientation at work, I share some of that journey. Because I see so many young people that come in and they like our placement and swim door, they were coming in, like not going right back home because they didn't have the mind to work. Or they didn't have the mindset or the teachings, maybe, because we can't blame it all on the kids, right? People, we have a new generation, and the teacher generation is different. We got to learn their way, right? I couldn't parent, there was no way I could parent my children the way I was parented, right? That's why I got out of that relationship, because I didn't want them to see what I had been through as a child, right? My goal today was to inspire you. I wanted my story to be a push for the next chapter in your life. I would hope that you would say, you know what? Denisha did it. I can too. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That verse, you can't go wrong with it. You cannot go wrong with that verse. I hope that you have enjoyed the story of my life. It was very personal. I don't speak on the domestic violence part a lot because the person is still close and I don't want to trigger him. So, but I wanted to give it to you because I wanted to be where you are inspired. Thank you so much for listening. I love all of you. With the grace of God. Y'all get out of the way. We have to get out of his way. While I'm here, I do want to introduce you to somebody special to me. This is my baby. This is my daughter. She thinks she's my daughter, but she's not. This is Mariah Easton. She's from Raleigh, North Carolina. Mariah was a student at Wesleyan College, University now. She became an intern at our job in our HR department, and when they was going to release her because it was time for her to graduate, I snatched her. I said, I need some help. And we brought her in our office, and she became an intern with us for about 2 years, and she got hired on permanently. Mariah is officially the health, safety, and environmental administrator right across the street at her demo. We love you, Mariah. And today I invited her because I wanted her to see greatness. And she's enjoying herself. And thank you for coming, Mariah. I know you enjoying. These are our folks. They're going to have to stay right here. Get right here, y'all. Thank you again for listening. Let's see what we got going on next. This time. Are we going? Y'all ready for some more prizes? All right. So let's spin that wheel for the prizes. Let's go, Demetrius. Deborah Cofield, where you at, girl? Congratulations. Let's keep spinning. Let's go. Deborah, what you got, girl? Keep working. Why don't we wait a minute? Elaine, what is that? Keep holding the front tip from outside. And right here. Let's keep going. And where you at, Ann? And
I just want to give Miss Adams a plug. Miss Adams can be found at the Edgecombe County Memorial Library in the Tarboro branch. If you need any information about programs or happenings around the county, call the library, ask for Miss Adams. She does a good job of publicizing that program, just all programs. So Edgecombe County Memorial Library is a great resource for seniors. They have excellent dynamic programming for older adults. So make sure you tap into your library system. Thank you.
congratulations, Miss Ann. And thank you for being an advocate in our library system. All right, you want to keep spinning inside? All right, let's keep it spinning. Let's go. Lord, praise you. If you don't stop it, then you know what's wrong. Congratulations, Fred. Keep on spinning. Go ahead. Steve, miss you. You in the building? What's her name? Cassandra? Congratulations, right over here. Let's keep it going. Apple Hollow. The first test went twice. He's winning all of the time.
Last one.
All right, last time. That's up, Jimmy. Where you at?
Lee, I'm sorry, it's you. It's you. Who got that on paper?
Dana?
She's a lady.
It's Dana D.
It's you.
It's you, girl.
Congratulations. It's you. I can read it, so I put a D. I'm sorry. All right, that's our last year 5. So for right now, we have more left. So it's fine.
All right, so we're going to give you all an opportunity. If you didn't get a chance to visit some more vendors, you can ask the DJ to play some soft music. Like I said, if you haven't had a chance, please go to the vendors. If you don't have anybody come to you, feel free to come over here. It's fine. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you.